Hi. So today we're doing storytelling. My name is Sashan. Welcome to Storytelling for Entrepreneurs. And I have a gentleman that I've actually been looking up to a lot. He's such an incredible gentleman. He's a CEO of Sports One magazine. He's a 3 times international bestseller. And he has a new book out called Game Time Decision Making. And I have so much respect for what he has been able to do with his business and his career. So let's see if I can bring him on. Let me see if this... We'll see if this works. This usually takes 1 or 2 tries before it actually goes through. Yeah, me too. Andrew, where are you coming in from? Hi, Liz. Oh, man. Hey, David. I just sent you a request, David. I don't know if you received that. Nice. Chicago, I'm in New York. Man, this guy. Hold on. Let's see if this. Yeah, I send you the request sometimes. Hold on. Let me. Gotta love technology.
There you go.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I was just saying, you gotta love technology.
Yeah, it's like my first day using Instagram every time I use it. So I love it.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I absolutely appreciate you jumping on. Obviously, I use this platform as a way to kind of storytell for entrepreneurs, like find out your journey, what you went through, and then kind of see what you've built with what you're doing right now. So if you want to get started with kind of share us like your background and what you currently do.
Yeah, no problem. So I currently am the co-founder of Sports One Marketing. Previously, I ran Lee Steinberg Sports and Entertainment, the most notable sports agency in the world. Most people know Lee Steinberger, Berg from the movie Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
Last 4 years, I have built my own brand. So instead of building brands of the great celebrity athletes and entertainers that I worked with over the last 2 decades, I now have built my own brand. So number one, I have a podcast called The Playbook. It's one of the top entrepreneur podcasts in the world. I have a TV show called Elevator Pitch,
Nice.
where I did for 5 seasons and now just executive produce it in season 6. I have my brand new TV show called The 2-Minute Drill on Bloomberg TV and Amazon, which you can catch at 8:30s. And then I have written 4 books that people can read. I have speaking around the world. I'm a top executive coach, but I also do private groups and free training every Friday. All of that I previously described is for one thing, and that's simply to empower people to be happy. I'm looking for 1,000 people like you to empower 1,000 people, to empower 1,000 people to be happy and spread that great virus of happiness that strengthens us mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, so that we all can help each other.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you get started with because I actually was involved with your Friday coaching call when the COVID hit. So how did you get started with that? Like, what made you decide on that path?
Yeah, so 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, I did free trainings to help people with sales. Sales was my great capability. I'd made millions and millions of dollars and wanted to empower other people to make money so they could help people and have fun with their lives, create happiness.
Yeah.
Has evolved, especially during COVID, to biggest free trainings out there. We have over 20,000 people that are registered every Friday. We have hundreds of thousands of people on Spotify. There's a playlist that is featured there. So all specifically, it's all free. I actually even give exercises, guides, books, everything for free. They can email me, david@dmeltzer.com, and or join my text community, 949-298-2905, all to help.
Yeah, awesome, man. What do you feel like especially in entrepreneurship? I guess you're working with a lot of entrepreneurs. What do you feel like the biggest challenge that a lot of entrepreneurs come through?
For me, it's procrastination and quitting, which are closely tied together. Just did a training on procrastination, and the 4 types of procrastination that lead to people quitting is: 1, the 2-minute drillers that need the pressure of just 2 minutes left in the game and they wait too long to get started. Of course, you have the fickle fans that are always distracted in avoidance mode, and they always make excuses and don't prioritize what they need to do. People, like hard, they don't like long, so they'll go ahead and wait for a short period of time, but not in a long period of time. And then, of course, you have put me in, don't take me out, coach. The people that won't admit they're tired, won't admit they're hurt, and they're kind of playing the game without the finances, without enough help. They don't ask for help as well. And then you got the third stringers, that quit because, they don't put everything into it. They're distracted by the shiny objects. They don't enjoy the consistent pursuit of their potential, and so they never get there. And so quitting to me is the #1 problem. Procrastination is the cause of quitting. And if people were persistent, they would receive acceleration, exponential growth, compound interest, and the success that they want, combining perseverance and patience together.
Nice. There was actually a post you made that I'm actually curious about your insight on it. You said something about consistent action and good intention, right? And I think those 2 things we struggle the most, like just staying consistent and working intentionally. So what do you mean by good intention, and how can someone set up intention for what they do?
Well, first you have to pay attention to what you want. So you have to take inventory of your values: personal values, experiential values, giving values, and receiving values. And once you know that what, then with that attention, you can give your intention. Intention is the aggregate of what you think about it, what you say, what you do about it, what you hear about it. Even taking in consideration your own personality traits, your own characteristics, your own obsessions and addictions that you apply. Because if you aggregate your attention plus intention, it'll equal the coincidences that you want in your life, meaning it is the equation of luck.
Yeah. Do you feel like you get into a better flow state when you have those 2 combined, attention and intention?
Yeah, because your highest frequency is neutral, and the flow state is indicative of less interference between you and what already exists, the greatest source of power, light, love, and lessons that already exist, and that we're just using our free will to clear that, to, like you said, be in the flow. And so absolutely, intention and attention clears the flow. It's part of the free will that creates less interference, void, shortages, and obstacles for what we want.
Yeah, nice. I like that. It feels like it's such a big thing now, especially in the personal development space. Intention is becoming a big thing. At least for myself, I'm learning a lot more about it. And there's a lot of people talking about, make sure you set the right intentions before you set the goals. You talked about something about, what was it? Be a student in my calendar. I'm actually curious about that. You talked about,
I believe I believe in activity. I get paid for activity. I don't. I believe in activity every day. I don't believe in work. I don't believe in busy. Busy people are unavailable. Active people are available and productive, which is what 2 of the objectives that I have. And so being a student is the process of studying the blend of the man-made construct with manifestation. Manifestation is the process of angling towards what we want. Calendar provides time in order for which it does. And in order to do that, what I do is I study the time in my calendar of 3 things. First, I use a lens of productivity, of how much value I'm going to provide. I use a lens of accessibility, of how accessible am I to others. And then, of course, a lens of gratitude, of finding the light, the love, and the lessons. Then once I do and use that Meltzer kaleidoscope, that 3-pronged lens of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, I study what I have planned during the day. I study what I don't have planned, the empty space in my calendar, and I study my sleep. Most people ignore sleep. I see workout. My tomorrow starts today. I believe that the warm-up to sleep is called an unwinding routine. And so I specifically treat my unwinding like a warm-up to an 8-hour athletic event.
Yeah.
So my tomorrow starts
Good.
today, making sure that I'm in the right state of mind flow in order to access all that information to accelerate and grow when I sleep, so that I plateau and grow, that I don't live the myth of Sisyphus by Camus, where you have a guy who pushes a boulder to the top of the hill just to have it roll down again, but instead simply plateauing and growing every day, finding neutrals, my highest frequency, as a baseline to make sure that I'm moving in the most efficient, effective, statistically successful way in the right direction.
Yeah. So do you have because we talk a lot about morning routines, and I think there's so much knowledge about morning routines, but what's considered a good evening routine for you?
Well, I have two routines. One is a daily routine. It starts at 4 a.m. I meditate
Nice.
20 minutes, 10 minutes to get ready, a minimum of an hour a day on my health. And then I come home and I spend an hour and a half with my family, an hour doing research, and then I execute on the student in my calendar. 4:45, I then do some coaching calls as well. And then more importantly, back to an hour and a half with the family, an hour of studying, and then the wind down routine. The key that has been successful for me is to have an adaptable routine as well. So if
Mm,
you have a routine, the key to sticking to your routine is to know that you live on this earth. What does that mean? That means shit's going to happen. That means in-laws are going to come in town, you get a bachelor
yeah.
party, but you go out too late, or you just feel tired. So what you need to do to make sure that you are accelerating, growing, and experiencing the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, you got to have an adaptable routine based off of your own non-negotiable. So for me, it's a minimum of an hour a day with my health.
Yeah.
First, before my kids, before my family, before activity I get paid for. Second, minimum of 30 minutes every day with my wife. Minimum of 30 minutes every day with my 10-year-old son. Minimum of 2 minutes a day with my 3 teenage daughters. Don't be mad at me. I asked for 5. They gave me 2. Anyone
Yeah.
that teenagers can get that. Minimum of 1 minute a day with my mom to tell her that, number 1, I'm healthy. 2, I'm happy. 3, I love her. And 4, I appreciate her. The only 4 things that parents want to know about their children are those 4 things. Then
Mm,
I have a minimum of 10 minutes a day to study my calendar so that I have something to prioritize and execute on. So if you have a routine and an adaptable routine with the lens of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, you will exponentially grow or be able to experience what I call compound interest, putting
yeah.
Einstein's 72 rule into effect to double the amount of things that we are productive with, the amount of people we help, the amount of money we make, and the amount of fun we
Yeah.
have as fast as we can.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. It's crazy. I think that's where I got the lesson from. I think you talked about having a routine when you travel. I think you talked about it like a year ago, maybe a couple times ago, like just having a routine when you travel, because that's important too. And I feel like a lot of us, we fall out of the routine when we don't have a routine when we travel, when we, just don't have the non-negotiable set up.
Yeah, it's so funny because one of those routines for me is to make my bed, which so
Yeah.
many people made fun of me, but people don't realize the extra space when you make your bed. Not only won't you lose things, forget things, but you can use it as a layout platform, as a strategy in order to effectuate being able to find what you need, be accessible and efficient with what you need, lay out and program your day utilizing your bed if you make your own bed.
Mm, yeah. It starts with making your bed. It
Yes.
seriously does. Um, I want to talk to you about abundance. We hear this word a lot, being in abundance and having an abundant mindset. Um, can you elaborate more on that and what that means to you and for
Yeah.
even entrepreneurs?
Very important because there's 3 worlds. There's a scarce world of not enough where a lot of people live. Everything happens to them. They are what I call why me person. Why me? Why can I have this? There's not enough of anything for
Yeah.
anyone. No matter what they have, there's still not enough. You got to have more and more. Then there's the second world of just enough. Uh, Tempered by not just why me, but you try me, but it's all for me. And most of the people in the world of just enough, they buy things that they don't need. When they're not happy, they buy different things they don't need. If they're still not happy, they buy more things they don't need. They
Yeah.
buy things to impress people. They even buy things to impress people that they don't even like. Uh, for me. So you're not a victim. You're an optimist. They use your givers, people that live in that just enough world, of still a scarce world, but not as scarce as not enough. But they live in a world where they give to receive. Everything is quid pro quo. There's an equilibrium about giving and receiving. But in the more than enough, the faithful world that I live in, where I know that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm at the right place at the perfect time. And I angle towards what I want, but have faith that I am going to end up somewhere better, because there's more than enough of everything for everyone to come through me. No longer do I give to receive. I receive with appreciation, gratitude that I received it, but also adding my value and giving it away. I am in the flow. I am the conduit of all the abundant. In living between limitlessness and infinity, we can have a world of more than enough. This is where happiness and my mission come into play, because if we can create a collective consciousness of abundance and happiness, that people will stop attacking and separating and interfering with the flow of each other and what they're connected to. We will have more than enough of everything for everyone. We just have to shift that belief collectively.
Yeah. So you said something very interesting, angle for what you want. So does that mean that actually doing the work and not expecting it, or what does that mean?
That means to enjoy. When you're angling, you're enjoying the consistent everyday, persistent, without quit, pursuit of your idea of what you want. But the caveat is, why are we angling? Because we know that we don't know, meaning that we have faith that although we're angling towards what we want, we're going to end up somewhere better. So we don't know no certainty of what it is that we truly need or want or aspire to. So we angle towards what we think we want, but have faith that something better is coming.
Wow, that's huge. So can someone shift their mindset from a scarcity mentality to abundance? Or is it something that we are just human beings, we're just abundant?
So the way the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious continuum work, it's a practice. It's all dictated by the data and the input that we receive, either through our senses, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouth, our touch, or our memories, experiences, whether you believe in genetics or past lives, it doesn't matter. You're gathering past information from this life, other lives, your ancestors' lives, that are indicated through the way that our senses and our memory works. And if we're consistent about it, that data is then moved from the conscious to the 40,000 of the same thoughts that exist in your subconscious that create the neural pathways in your mind, the systems that allow us to be more efficient, effective, statistically successful. And the more we access the best thoughts, the best hearing, the best things that we do, the more we access that, the more it will send a frequency or a signal to our unconscious competency, the part that you were talking about earlier that we're born with. That part you said, well, this is why it's combined, because you are born with a set quantum memory. You're born with DNA, but you have an epigenetic layer of that DNA that allows you to activate different things that may not be present in your personal characteristics or your obsessions, addictions, or your own personality traits. Those can be activated, reactivated, re-engineered. So no matter where you start, whatever that quantum being is, everyone has the potential to, through practice, change or shift that paradigm.
Great, that's awesome. So what's one thing they could do right now? What's one habit they could adopt?
So for me, it's taking inventory of our values. Most people, they don't know what they want, and they're searching for a why, but they don't even know what they want. So how do you know why you want nothing? So it doesn't make any sense. People need to take inventory of their personal values every day, experiential values, the giving values and receiving values, and using that, align it, see what synergistic supplementary to what you want, and make your decisions day by day. Don't be afraid of being a hypocrite, changing your mind, growing, learning, accelerating. And if you do and take inventory of your day, I promise you that this process is possible, probable, and most likely going to be your perspective.
Oh man, I love it. Absolutely love it. Last couple of questions, David. Who is one person that changed your life, trajectory of your life?
Well, I would say my wife the most. She's the one that when I was lost, told me to take stock in who I was, and that's when I had to formulate to save our marriage and my life. Gratitude, perspective, forgiveness as peace, accountability as control, and learn the difference between motivation and inspiration. It's when I stopped just overselling, back on selling, lying, with cheating, manipulating other people, and living in a world of more than enough, because my wife
Yeah.
was the catalyst to help me learn that.
Wow, that's amazing. And what's one book that changed for you? I know we have so many books.
Yeah,
Obviously, you wrote a book.
Fire's Power of Intention changed my,
Mm.
and it's the crux of what I use as a foundational tool, with Think and Grow Rich being second, and A Course in Miracles being third.
Oh, I love it. Love it. And lastly, where can they find you? I know you have your Instagram, you wrote a book, you have a coaching business. So where can the audience find you?
Look, please, everybody, two ways. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Free books, exercises, guides, free training, whatever you want. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I do have group private things and one-on-one private things. If you want, just email me. But more importantly, too, I have a text community, which is 949-298-2905. 949-298-2905. I appreciate everyone. I am here to be of service. Please be happy, empower others to be happy, and most importantly, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Thank you
There we
so
go. Thanks, David. Cheers.
much.
Bye.
Cheers.